Hey everybody, I wanted to provide our analysis on a few of our most recent trades in XOM. We also traded UPS and we also traded APC. This is a 6-month daily chart on XOM. We actually played a call on XOM and we played it right on this candle right here. And this play was based off this $80 support level that we found on this play. And this is a 6-month daily chart. And this is where we played it. And as you can see, we got a nice pop on the next day, which was really good. Let me go ahead and take you through to the 1-minute chart and show you where our buy was executed and our exit was. So here is XOM, and this is the 4-day 1-minute chart. And this was our buy right here. This is where we alerted it, was right here. And this was our entry. And it was right near that support level. We got in at, I think, $80.03. MFI is pretty low, but not quite as low as we normally want it. But this was more of a support play. We were playing it off the $80 support level. And we obviously got a decent bounce going into close, which was nice. And then we also got that bounce, and we got a nice run up throughout the day. This is one that I wish we had held a little bit longer. We alerted an exit right about here. There was a little bit of a struggle right there to break 81, and I didn't want to get rejected and have us lose on this trade or have us take a little bit less of a win. But either way, we were able to exit this trade for over 20% gains by just a quick overnight hold, bought 30 minutes left in the market, sold within the first hour or so of the market being open. Obviously, as you can see, this thing ran quite a bit further. I checked later in the day, and this was over 100% gain. So great trade. This is one of our first trades of the week, so it was a good way to kick it off. Our next trade was in UPS, and this was actually a put on UPS. We played this one right here on this candle, and we played it off the rejection of 120. This is the 6-month daily chart, so this kind of gives you an idea. As you can see here, had this big huge day right here, then it rejected here, rejected again here, had a big move here but still closed below, rejected again here, kind of worked its way back up again here and rejected a third, fourth, fifth time. So that for me was a clear indication that it was time to enter this trade. And let me show you our entry and exit based off the 1-minute chart. This is the 1-minute chart, and we were able, this is where we alerted it right here. This is at 119.90, and this was our entry on this trade. As you can see, we got a nice fall intraday, but this was designed as a swing trade. And then it kind of, traded sideways throughout the rest of the day here. Then the next morning, we got a huge dive on this one, right at open. It worked out really well. We were able to exit in this 118.80 range, and we were able to capitalize over 30% gains on this one. And this was just a really good trade right off that rejection. When it rejected that 120 level, I was pretty confident that we were going to see some pretty nice gains. Again, on this one, you're going to see the correlation down here. Not really much correlation in terms of the MFI. This was played as a support play, so MFI sometimes goes out the window on those plays. Our next trade was in APC. And this trade, I'm going to show you the 1-minute chart first because this was originally supposed to be a day trade that didn't go our way. So I noticed there was about a 64.60 support level. This stock had tumbled quite a bit over the past week, which you'll see on the next chart. And I didn't think it was going to go much lower than this. It kind of traded in this wave right here, came back down and traded sideways, and this was the entry point that I had on this. I thought I was trading sideways here. I was ready for another pop. We actually got that pop for a minute. I was like, all right, this is going to be a good day trade opportunity. and it rejected and slid hard down throughout the day. Ended up averaging down a little bit, and bought the second buy here as I decided that this was going to turn into a swing trade. Next morning, had a little bit of a spike here and sold off pretty quickly. I held up for a little while longer, feeling like this should be down here, and then it spiked up right here. And this is my exit. I ended up exiting trade, exited here for 8% loss. I just didn't really like it. I was a little bit worried about the action that it was having and chance of me getting back up to this level. I just wasn't really feeling it. So I ended up exiting for an 8% loss. But let me go ahead and show you the daily chart. This is where I'm a little bit frustrated with myself on this trade. I could have held this one for a little while longer. As you can see, this is where I was seeing the 64.60 support level here based off prior touches of it. Plus, it had fallen so sharply off of ER. I was ready for it to make a bounce. And this is where it kind of scared me and kicked me out of the trade. But by the end of the day, as you can see here, it closed up higher than that support level, and it closed up pretty much where we bought. And then today, it had another run up even farther, and this thing looks like it's just going to kind of keep pulling itself back up. So this is one where I kind of got weak hands and sold out a little bit earlier than I probably should have. This one had the ability to run up quite a bit more. I just didn't hold it as long as I should have. And if we had held till today, that 8% loss would have probably been a 20 or 30% gain. And I intend on this stock to continue to rise up. So we'll see how that one plays. And we had one more in JPM. This is the chart on JPM. This is a 6-month chart. As you can see, JPM has had a huge upward trend, but it's really struggled around 117. Originally, it struggled in this area. I kind of felt like it was ready for another pullback, maybe down to 115 or so. As you can see here, the last couple days hasn't really traded huge moves up. It's just kind of been slow and steady upward trend, a little bit of downtrend. Kind of really traded sideways the last few days, honestly. Show you where our entry was and where our exit was over the last couple of days. So this is the 1-minute chart on JPM. As you can see, this is right around where we entered. It was kind of doing this wave here, and it slid. And I was waiting. I was like, I'm gonna wait until it gets retest 117 area, and that was gonna be my buy. So this is my entry, and this is a put. I was like, I'm going to wait for the 117 retest, and then hopefully we'll get rejection. This thing will slide to 116, 115. We'll be able to make it some great profit. Obviously, as you can see, instead of retesting 117 and rejecting, it did not reject, and it just kept going up. Had a little bit of a pullback later in the day, and then kind of traded sideways the rest of the day and down. So since it traded sideways and down, and it was kind of teeter-tottering on that 117 level, I was thinking we might be all right for the next day. Then we got a gap up the next morning, which didn't really help our cause. Then in this 118 range, I had made a second buy on this trade, averaged down a little bit on it. We got a little bit of a dive this morning, or yesterday morning, but then the stock rocketed right back up. Had a slight pullback. This is right around, I was pretty close to break even on this one here. I was probably down 2 or 3%, and it rocketed back up. And then we came on through the day on Wednesday, and it kind of just continued to trade upwards and sideways. A little bit of movement here or there throughout the day. Didn't get as much movement as we wanted on this trade. And as you can see, it kind of just traded pretty sideways. Then we got the fall today, finally, on this trade, and we were able to exit right around here. And I exited for a very small gain. I think when I totaled it out with both buys, I ended up like 3.5% gains on this one. This is a little bit of a more frustrating play, as I thought this was going to be a big gainer with a big drop incoming. And it really just kind of, it broke that 117, which I didn't intend on doing when I purchased it, and then it kind of just teeter-tottered up there for the last 2 days. Hasn't really had a lot of movement, and this is why I exited the trade. I've seen this stock, dive a bunch of times here and then just rocket right back up. And I figured I'm just going to take a 3.5% win here on this trade and get out rather than have the potential of this thing just turning right back around and going back to 118, and then I'm sitting at a 25% loss again. So those are 4 of our most recent trades. Hopefully you got some good information out of this, and we'll be sure to post more recaps in the future. Thanks.